You start recording?
Window? Yeah. Continue.
Hello everyone. Today we are presenting our second project of web programming. My name is Sagar Krishna Kashyap and my teammates are Dattu Reddy and Avinash Goli. The name of our project is Game of Thrones. And as you can already guess, this is a wordplay on the very famous TV series Game of Thrones. So coming to the description of the game, so it is played between two players on a game board and it is purely based on luck. It is numbered from 1 to 100 and there are certain random danger zones and green zones which are pictured on the board. So each player rolls the dice and they get a number from 1 to 6. Accordingly, they move forward. However, if your if your character lands on red zone, then you are decremented by 5 places and vice versa for the green zones. Coming to the UML diagram of our project, we have our actor, which is also our player. So the actor goes directly to the home user interface. Here he can access summary.php, contact, and login. For login, an existing user, he can directly sign in and proceed to the game. However, if you are a new user, you have to first register yourself and then sign in and then proceed to the game. Once you are done playing the game, you can proceed to log out and perform the same procedure again. So this is the screenshot of our homepage UI. Here we have certain attributes such as marquee behavior, which scrolls from left to right. We also have a flip card where you can see the dice game rules. Image flips with a transition. It gives us information regarding the game. So you also have 4 buttons: home, summary, contact, and login. Coming to summary, here you can Okay, so we also have a snippet of our code, index.php. Here you can see uh, that we have used Flipkart for rolling the image with a smooth transition and giving some kind of information regarding the game. So summary.php includes our project title, project description, member names, and project responsibilities. Going to contact.php, we have the images, names, and email IDs to contact the developers. You can see that we have provided contact details of all the 3 developers. Next is login, and my friend Avinash will take over from here.
See the like there is a like the two dices and the background, that is a particular GIF image we are using here, and the entire layout and layout of this particular login and registration pages is set by the login and register.css file. And that particular CSS file also contains different styles and the flex layout, and also sets labels and different background image for the left side of the login and registration pages. And coming to this login.php page, if you see this is a simple login page where the user will be asked to give the username and password, and once he hit on the login button, the next operation will be happen. And then we also have if the user is new to this particular game, then we also have this register here option, which will take to the different code snippet accordingly. So coming to the login and authenticate PHP files. So in the login.php file, it contains the HTML code for the login page. It includes a container division with two child divisions, one with a background image and the other one with a login form. The form allows the user to enter their username and password and submit the form to authenticate their credentials. So if the credentials are invalid, the user is redirected back to the login page with an error message saying that the credentials are not fine. Please provide the correct credentials. So how we do this validation is by using this authenticate.php file. So authenticate.php file handles the authentication of these user login credentials. It checks if the username and password are set in the post data. Like we use a credentials.txt file, which is stored in our server, where it will go back to that text file and check for the username and password which are provided by the user, and if they match, it is successful, and if it doesn't match, then it sends back the error message. And coming to the register.php page, so as we have seen in the login page, we have a small option at the bottom. If the user is new, then he can first register to the game and then start playing. So when he goes to the register.php, like when he hits that register button, this is the output which he can see, which is very similar to the login button, but here we don't have that register.php option, and this is the option where user gives the new username and password credentials to register to this game. So here is the code snippets for register.php and create user.php. So whenever this register.php is called, like it includes same as like similar to as you have already seen, it is very similar to the login page, but the only thing is instead of calling the authenticate.php, here we call the create user.php. Whenever the user hits the submit button, these username and the password details will be sent to the create user.php. In turn, in create user.php, it will save these username and password information into the credentials.txt file, which I have mentioned earlier. So if the username doesn't exist, the script calls a function named create user that writes the new username and password to the file. And if the username already exists, the user is redirected back to the registration page with an error message saying the same thing. And then whenever the login or the registration is successful by a user, then they will be heading to this game.php file. Here, as you can see the game.php file here, where we have the first thing we need to do once we enter this page is we have to set two different player names, whoever is playing, and then once they hit the start button, they can go to the game. And the other features in this page is they can log out at this particular point by using the logout button at the top right corner. And also we have included some other links for Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Pinterest links to follow this particular game and the developments on this particular game. And regarding the game, my friend Dattu will be explaining.
Hey, hi. So once the players enters their names for this game, so this is they're landed into this page where the actual game how it is looks like. So here you can see both the players, Alice and Bob. And the top you can see in the blue color, the scores are displayed. So they are 0 initially as the game didn't start yet, and you can also see the roll button for each of them to roll the dice whenever it's their turn. And if you observe the grid, there are also red blocks which indicates the danger zones. Whenever the user landed into that particular cell, so their score will be reduced by -5, and also for the greener ones, so their score will be incremented by 5, and whoever reaches 100 first, so will be the winner for this game. And so here you can see the game has started, and it displays the score for each of the player, like 2 and 6. So whenever the rolling has finished, it displays like what has been rolled by the player. It also indicates clearly with the dice image for each of the score. And it's a sample code snippet showing how we handle the dice count using session. So each of the time will be we should maintain the score of each player until game end. So this is achieved by using the session. And Yeah, so in the grid you can observe the positions of the players. So Alice is at 27 and Bob is at 38. So it indicates the name in the cell where the player is currently well in the game. And so yeah, while one of the player reaches 100, so it declares the player as the winner and the game ends. So yeah, now let's go through the demo, and Saga will be presenting you the demo of how our game exactly looks like in the. Yeah, Saga, you can take over.
Yes. So as you can see, this is our index.php, and on top of it, we can see that we have a marquee behavior which scrolls from left to right, and we have 4 buttons: home, summary, contact, login. As you can see, dice game rules image, it when you hover your mouse pointer on top of it, so you can see some kind of information regarding the game. You are being encouraged to log in and play. And if you scroll down, you can see that we have similar kind of footer class where you can see that uh, the name of the developers are being displayed using the same marquee behavior from left to right. The smooth transition of color. Coming to summary, yeah. So here we have provided our project title, which is Game of Thrones, project description, team member names, project responsibility of each team member. Contact.php, we have provided images and uh, details of each developer. Moving on to the login page, Avinash will take over.
Like the user should either register if it doesn't have an account, or it should have credentials to log in. So this is the only way you can play the game. So now I do have credentials to log in. So clicking on login will redirect me to this page where it asks for the player names of whoever playing for this game. So let me enter their names and click on start. So yeah, this is the actual game page, where initially both of the player scores are 0, and it is indicating it's Alice's turn to roll first. So whenever you click on roll, so it says the roll. It displays the roll count, and you can also see in the grid. So Alice was placed on the second cell. Similarly, this game continues, and whenever either one of the player reaches the danger position, their score will be automatically reduced by -5, and they will be moved back. So same with the green one, their score will be incremented by 5, and whoever reaches 100 will be marked as the winner. So, and here you also have a logout button. Whenever you clicked on it, it will straightly take you to the this home page. And let me also quickly show you the register here. So this is where a new user can uh, register. It also validates for existing users. So we are maintaining a txt file storing all the usernames, so it doesn't allow the duplicate things. So yeah, going back to our PPT.
So the methodology we used in our project was Scrum. Scrum is an agile development methodology which is used for the development of software based on an iterative and incremental process. So Scrum is adaptable, fast, flexible, and effective agile framework which is designed to deliver value to the customer throughout the development of the project. And we have implemented Scrum methodology by conducting regular meetings, and we decided our project user interfaces and all the designs that we will require. And we also have a timeline. We had a timeline and a schedule, which helped us to track our project progress. Coming to the benefits of Scrum, We have certain benefits such as it is easily scalable. So the Scrum processes are iterative, as I already mentioned, and they are handled within specific work periods. It makes it easier for the team to focus on definite functionalities for each period. Coming to another benefit, which is flexible to changes. So reaction to changes in requirements generated by customer needs or market developments. This is for a full-scale project where the customer may change their requirements based on the necessity and the development team can quickly work on it. And also there is a timely prediction, which I mentioned earlier. So we use this highly in our project as well. So we know the average speed of the team, and according to that, we can adjust the timeline and we can also work effort accordingly. Thank you. That will be all.